everyone. Welcome to the Amazon Playbook podcast brought to you by TurnKey Product Management. I am your host today. My name is Brad Enright. I am the Director of Clients and Partnerships here at TurnKey. We thank you for joining us today. We have an interesting and exciting topic we're going to be going over today with a gentleman by the name of Arvind Tianu. He is the Chief Delivery Officer for a company called SellerKandy. They've been around for 3 years. Arvind was actually employee number 2 at SellerKandy. SellerKandy is a seller support issue company that if you're an Amazon seller and you don't want to have to deal with seller support, you can get SellerKandy to handle all of those things for you so you never have to speak to them again. So Arvind, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for inviting me. Excited about this one. I've been looking forward to actually have this podcast with you guys. Yep.
Yeah, no, once we've been interested in having you guys on ever since we were connected a few months ago and have been talking about this. I'm glad we could finally get a time here to chat. Before we dive into the heart of the conversation here, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did SellerKandy get started? And what do you guys do for Amazon sellers?
Yeah, sure. So I can start with just introducing myself. So I'm actually an accountant by profession, but I'm more on doing budgeting and forecasting before I met our CEO, John Cavendish. So in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, I met him in one of online interview to do bookkeeping for him for his Amazon business. That time he's just an Amazon seller in the UK. And then after a year and a half, he asked me to join him full-time to fully manage his Amazon businesses, like dealing with on a day-to-day operations, even contacting and messaging the suppliers and managing the PPC. And then in 2018, John launched an agency, like a full-time agency, full management agency to help Amazon sellers. But then a year and a half, in 2020, he started launching SellerKandy. That came from the idea of actually from the full management that he started. He realized that time that, having a full-time agency is very time consuming. There's a lot of KPIs that you need to meet. There's a lot of expectations, performance that you have to manage. And then it's just looking into SellerKandy right now. It's more on working into bite-sized issues. We're outcome-driven support, helping sellers to troubleshoot all of their listing issues. Let's say, for example, a written statement or stranded listings, and anything that seller support is giving Amazon sellers a headache every day. So we're taking away the pain of contacting them and troubleshoot these issues in their behalf.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, following up on that, we work with a lot of sellers. You obviously, anyone that's an Amazon seller, there's a lot of frustration that can come about when you're having to deal with seller support. There's, long wait times. The responses you get often are just canned answers. And if you do speak to someone, they'll tell you one thing. And then if you speak to somebody else and a day or two later, they'll tell you something completely different. So you get a lot of inconsistent answers and information. So talk a little bit about how would-be sellers or current sellers, how can they avoid the pitfalls that come with dealing with seller support, and how can a company like SellerKandy help them resolve those issues that they have?
Yeah, well, I'll share this based on my personal experience, because it's not just about, when you have a particular issue happening on your Seller Central account, you immediately raise a case and ask Amazon support to, hey, please fix this stranded inventory. That's not how, you should be doing it as a seller. You try to troubleshoot it first, because when you contact Amazon support, they will just give you a canned response on how you should actually troubleshoot it. So after you perform all of the troubleshooting processes, I can cite some examples. So for example, you're just trying to update a listing, maybe something happened, the brand name is incorrect and you have to update it. So you have to upload a flat file first. You have to even provide them your manufacturer website and even some documents like real world images to prove that this should be your product. this is your real product, and this is how it should be. And then let's say after you perform the delete release of the listing via flat file, you have the batch IDs, it didn't work, and that's the time that you will actually talk to seller support and say that, okay, yep, okay, all the things that you're telling me to do, I have done that one. Here's the proof. I have the batch ID, I have all of the documents. Now this is what I need you to do. I need you to transfer me to your leadership team because they are the one who has access to all of these tools. Because when you call Amazon support, the first level of support that you will reach to are just normal customer service who are given like 15 minutes handling time to try to resolve that issue with you, and they will give anything coming from their help pages, assuming that it will resolve the problem, right? So, when you ask them to transfer you to their catalog team or to the leadership team, they are the one who has access to edit and modify the listing. So there's other ways because every other issues are different. I just gave an example for a flat file related issue or a catalog related issue.
And we'll talk about flat files in just a second. So say someone goes through those, they try to troubleshoot and they follow the steps that Amazon gives them in that initial response, and they continue to have problems. So if they don't want to occupy their time with this type of work, they got other parts of their business that they need to focus on. Where can Seller Candy come in now and take over that issue and get that problem resolved for them? Where do you guys come in?
Yeah, good point. Actually, I just want to echo what you said. I mean, that's the reason why Seller Candy exists, is to actually help Amazon sellers to just for them to focus or spend their time to growing their business, not on troubleshooting all of these issues. Because all of these issues, it may appear that it's just really small issue, but you actually have to spend hours and days to resolve this one with seller support. Because any hours or days that your listing is deactivated, it's like you're losing hours of sales or days of
Sure.
sales. So you need to really allocate a lot of time to troubleshoot this one with Amazon. So we are Seller Candy is coming into that part of okay, you have this issue, give it to us, because we have a lot of our dedicated team who are expert. They are former Amazon support as well, or so some of them have worked with other Amazon sellers in the past, so they really know how to troubleshoot this kind of problem. So tell us what your desired outcome, and from the day that we received it, we'll update you from day to day, because not every issues that we will receive are we can instantly resolve in a day. So we'll just tell the client, okay, this is our plan of action, this is how we will do it, this is how many days it will take to, and based on our experience, to actually resolve this kind of issue. And if we will be delayed, we'll explain it to you, because there might be some underlying issues connected to your current problem. So we'll try to understand, perform a root cause analysis, and then write a plan of action.
So if I'm working with Seller Candy, I'm working with the same individual from start to finish with whatever my support issue is, and however many there are. Can I contact you with more than one issue? Is there a limit on how many I can reach out to you guys for if I have 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, we do have a subscription-based model. We can work on 2 to 3 simultaneous tickets a day. So it means that this is just the number of tickets we can work on. But as to your question, are you going to work with the same person every day? The answer is yes. You will receive your own dedicated agent. So from time to time, there will be another agent who will support on some other case. But the moment that they receive that case, they will continue to work on it until it is resolved. And then we have a way of internally escalating it within our team.
Okay, sounds good. So from your perspective and the work that you and your team sees, what are the most frequent or most common reasons that people contact you guys or contact seller support? What are the issues that come up the most? So again, if I'm a current seller or I'm a would-be seller, what should I, keep my eyes and my ears open for? What are things that people most commonly encounter?
Maybe I can answer that one based on what type of seller you are. Like if you are a reseller, or if you are a private label, or if you're an agency, because we also work. directly with agencies as their back support. Most of the resellers who reach out to us, so they also help them to troubleshoot their issue. Actually, more on account health violations like inauthenticity complaints, IP violations, or some suppressed listings, or sometimes buy box issues.
Sure, sure.
For private labels, it's more on just trying to update their catalog because Amazon is not allowing them to update their catalog and telling them that they are not winning the rights to edit it. Or sometimes they have incorrectly created the listing and then the brand name is incorrect, so we have to update it. So brand registry related work as well, mostly for private label. And then for agencies is more on the update on the catalog as well and FBA issues.
You guys also work with Seller Central, as we've been discussing. You also work with Vendor Central, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Anything different in the approach or the process if a Vendor Central person has an issue with seller support, that any way that you would go about that differently because it's not Seller Central, or it's not Seller Central, it's Vendor Central, excuse me.
Yeah, it's actually that the process is, I would say, like really different. What the good thing I really like about the vendor central support is that their vendor support is not like the seller support that is relying on the help pages or will give you a canned response or like templated responses. The way that we work with vendor central is actually we will raise a case and usually they will respond to us that they have fixed it in our behalf. But we also try to troubleshoot it first. But they are more accommodating than compared to Seller Central. And then for Seller Central, before reaching out to any of their support, you have to try to troubleshoot it first.
Okay, makes sense. Got it. So you guys are, you're essentially a company of if I'm a seller, I'm employing, a VA from your company to work and help resolve issues that I have.
Mhm.
What are the benefits of using a VA, just in general, from your opinion? And what are drawbacks from using a VA if I'm an Amazon seller?
Well, in general, having a VA is really helpful. If you have something that, emergency or something urgent on that day that you need to address, you can always just tell them, hey, fix it. Especially if that VA of yours is very experienced or, you know the Amazon workaround or the process. So you can instantly resolve that issue or maybe, you already know what's going on. The drawback is that usually for VAs, you have to manage them. Sometimes they will not show up or hey, where are you? I have something that I asked you to do like yesterday or today. And there will be times that they will even ask you, okay, I'll do this one, but how should I do this? That's the reason why you hired them.
Mhm.
I remember that one. I mean, I will always remember this, but I just share this because I had this my initial conversation with John, and I asked him a question about, okay, John, and how to resolve this one, and he told me, Arvin, that's the reason why I hired you. I don't know how to resolve it. So, and since then, I can show you because everything on Amazon you can find it in Google, right? So, or you just have to be resourceful.
Okay, sounds good. When it comes to Seller Candy, VAs, what are there specific, and we talked about, resellers, private labels, agencies, Seller Central, Vendor Central. Is there a size of seller, large seller, medium-sized seller, small seller that can get more value from a VA maybe than a different size company? And what sellers are ideal for, and I usually work with agencies as well, who's kind of the ideal client for Seller Candy, but again, what sellers can benefit the most from VA?
Yeah, okay. For the first question, I focus any seller. It may be someone that's starting to sell or to list a product, or someone's already established but having issues. I can't really differentiate the way that they are using Seller Candy, because with our ticketing system or ticketing portal, we do have like number of tickets that we can work on simultaneously for this client. But ideally, what we're looking for is someone that is already generating, you know, 20, at least 20,000 revenue a month on their Seller
20,000 per
Central
month?
account. Yeah, and
Okay.
then and then we do have clients that are making millions of dollars a month as well. But yeah, but the way that they're using Seller Candy, I would say the same because yeah, we do have a limit as to the number of simultaneous things we can work on. Just different issues.
Okay. So business owners are very, very different people, right? They're all unique to themselves. Some are very open and will share everything with you. Others are very confined, private, don't want to share anything with anybody. If
Mhm.
someone is that, someone that's open and easy to work with, bringing someone new, a VA, giving them access to their account won't be a problem for them.
Yeah.
If someone's a little bit more protective of their brand and of their business, their account, what do you do to make that person a little more comfortable to give someone access that they don't know to their business?
So that's a really good question actually. But Seller Candy is very flexible when it comes to the user permission that they will give us. It's either we set up a white label access so that we will only log into their Seller Central account to the access that they created in our behalf, or they will also just share the logins to our user. They could either give us a user permission, or sometimes they'll just be the one to update the permission that we need based on the task that they will give us. But at the same time, we do have terms and conditions in our website about breach, breaching information, so or sharing this information publicly, because our goal is to protect our clients. But at the same time, for us to work on or resolve their issues, we do have certain access that we need. So, but yeah, we are doing everything to actually protect all of their information privately.
So they can essentially give you permission to only certain areas that pertain to whatever the seller support issue is that they're looking for you to get resolved.
Yeah, if it is FBA, yeah, they'll only give me access to their FBA or permission to FBA related accesses.
Okay. When we first started the conversation, you talked about flat files.
Yeah.
Spend a minute or two talking about what they are and why they're important to sellers. Some people are very well informed of what flat files are. Some people don't know that much about them at all, but they're vital to the success of Amazon listings and so forth. So spend a little bit of time telling our people listening about flat files and why they're so important.
Yeah, well, Amazon flat file is like an Excel template. It's a way for you, it's a tool for you to actually manage your listings, to either create a listing, update a listing, update a variation. To me, my first experience with flat file was way back, like 2017. At that time, I actually don't know that the flat file exists, because in 2017, Amazon is not as difficult right now that you can just manually edit your listing in the backend and wait 15 minutes and it will reflect on the front end or on the detail page. But right now, Amazon has implemented a lot of policies about brand registry and controlling the listings and winning contribution rights, that if you don't have that rights, then you cannot edit the listing. And the way to do that, like if it is really your brand and you really need to edit it, you have to use the flat file. You have to upload that flat file into your managed inventory, and so that you will generate a batch ID. It's either on your upload, the listing will be accepted and it will then reflect to the detail page. If not, you can use the batch ID of your flat file and raise a case, Seller Central, and tell them that, hey, I did this one, but it didn't work. Can you please check within your system? Because as I've said, Amazon is very much automated right now. They will just give you answers based on their workflow. Then, however, I just want everyone to know that flat file is, as I said, very powerful tool. But at the same time, if you don't know how to use it, it could ruin your listing. It could overwrite the data without you knowing. And if you're uploading it into a incorrect marketplace, maybe your pricing might be messed up, your detail page may be removed. So yeah, that's just how Flatpal is. And our team, I'd say, are most of our team, I think all of it, all of them are Flatpal experts because that's actually what we do during the first month of them joining our company is to make them really good at the flat file because 90% of what we're doing every day are flat file related.
90%?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the other 10%? I know most of the things that you guys deal with are listing issues or brand registry problems. You guys can also help with inventory projections. You guys can also help with bookkeeping, FBA reimbursements. Talk a little bit about, does flat file help with that? Or does, what are the ways that you guys can help get those types of issues resolved as well for sellers?
Just want to correct one thing. We don't provide bookkeeping. I'm just an accountant by profession. I also started this one with John as his bookkeeper, so I know how to. So,
thank you for clearing that up. Sorry about that.
No worries. But yeah, we do help sellers with helping them project the inventory that they need based on the current sales demand. So we are downloading Amazon reports like the all orders report and put it into a spreadsheet, and we will create a dashboard for them based on this recent orders in the last 90 days. This is your daily sales, average daily sales, and this is your lead time. Therefore, this is the inventory that you need to keep within your warehouse or in Amazon, and this is our staff recommendation. So that kind of stuff. We'll also do reimbursement and helping them reconciling all of their inventory within the Amazon warehouse, or even those that they shipped from their own warehouse going to Amazon, and if there's any discrepancy, to help them in getting the money back from Amazon. Yeah, so I would say 90% of our day-to-day is flat file related because all issues, I would say, even restricted product. I mean, the reason why the certain ASIN is restricted is because there may be some keywords that the seller by mistake had added to the listing, and then the system of Amazon detected it and they deactivated the listing. And then for you to actually reinstate the ASIN, you have to update the information. And then again, being that the listing is already restricted, you cannot manually edit the listing. You have to perform flat file. You need to generate the batch ID and tell Amazon that, hey, I've uploaded it. And the same thing with other kind of issues, maybe a stranded listing, or even just simply updating your listing. You have to upload a flat file. But the remaining 10%, sometimes FBA related issues that the listing are just simply stranded, and there's an inventory error, they just need to refresh. So calling Amazon, like, it is very time consuming.
Okay. Great stuff. And again, you guys, just so I don't want people to get the wrong idea, the VA work that you guys are doing when it comes to updates and optimization for listings and PPC ads, that kind of thing, that is not within the scope of work, correct?
Yeah, anything related to PPC optimization or listing optimization. But we do help in, let's say, if one of your ASIN is not allowed to be advertised, we can help you investigate and raise the case. Hopefully, Amazon will allow it to be advertised again, or for your listing that you optimize, but Amazon is not accepting the updates, then we can also help in making sure that those updates that you need for your listing will reflect on the listing state of page.
Okay. So again, it's going to be more, Seller Candy is going to focus, and your team is focusing more on those seller support issues in regards to, as we talked about, listings, FBA, inventory, those types of things. The ones that take a lot of time, cause a lot of frustration. You guys have found a nice alternative here for Amazon sellers of all sizes and agencies and other, both Seller Central and Vendor Central, to really free up their time, as we talked about earlier, so they can focus on their business or growing their brand or whatever it is that they need to focus on within their business, and not spend all their time going back and forth trying to resolve an issue that just preventing them from doing what they need to be doing every day. You guys can handle that for them because you got a team of experts. A lot of them worked at Amazon.
Yes. So they know the internal process, but at the same time, they have personal experience it as well. So they know what are the departments that they need to raise it to. Because the funny thing about Amazon is that they have so many departments, right? They have the FBA team, they have the catalog team, brand registry, storefront, but then they don't work well together. So Your
Mhm.
VA or seller candy will mediate all of these departments together and tell them that, hey, you know what, I talked to your FBA team, here's the case ID, they managed to fix it, and please try to publish it here on your catalog team, yada yada yada, just to sort things out.
Gotcha. Well, Arvin, this has been really interesting and informative and helpful, hopefully, for the people that are our audience that's listening today. If anybody's interested in seller candy and finding out more about how you may be able to have your services help their business, how do they find you? Where do they go?
Well, we do have our website, sellercandy.com. You can check us out there. If you want to talk to our team, there's a button there where you can book a call. Also, you can also email me, arvin@sellercandy.com. So if you have any questions or just curious to know about any technical issues, I'll be happy to answer that for you guys.
All right. Sellercandy.com, SELLERCANDY.com, everybody, if you're looking for some support. Arvin, appreciate your time and your knowledge. I think you've enlightened everybody here a little bit on common problems to keep an eye out for. I think your input as to, just follow those initial steps for troubleshooting. And then if that doesn't work, exploring some other resolutions is always an option, obviously, with Seller Candy being one of those for the sellers that are out there, both Seller Central and Vendor Central. Appreciate your time, Arvin, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.